Welcome to On the Chain with Jeff and Chip.
Hey everybody, welcome to the after show. This is the show that happens after the show. That's why we call it the after show. I'm here with Jeff, co-host. We have digital nomad investor. You know him better as DNI, and we have D3. We've been calling him Triple D, but his real moniker is D3, and that is none other than YouTuber Digital Dinero Dave. What's up, people?
How's it going, gentlemen?
So I love the everyone's got a dark shirt on. We've got, you know, Johnny Cash Rebel over there, because you are really the rebel of space, and that shirt can't be more appropriate than wearing Johnny Cash, because you're the rebel, man. You're the rabble rouser. You're the one causing all kinds of trouble over there. I love it.
Now the question is, why did DNI wear the Johnny Cash shirt, and is he picking up on Chip's affinity for Johnny Cash? Because it always has to make an appearance.
Before I did hear the Johnny Cash thing before.
There we go.
So,
it was not planned on our part. Maybe it was planned on your part.
You know, so, but when I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, Johnny Cash, I got to wear it.
Nice. Well, I have a Johnny Cash shirt, but I can't wear it. It's pretty vulgar. But anyway, the one where he's flipping off, I don't wear that shirt.
I almost wore one of my jerseys, but
let's talk about your jerseys, and then I want to go over to D3 and talk about custom shirts. We want to check out his custom shirt, but DNI, what goes on with the manufacturing of your custom jerseys? You represent them back there. You come up with different ideas. That must be a process.
Yeah, it takes a little while. I mean, it just, you know, the designing thing's just a hobby with me, and actually that all came about before my channel did. I just started, you know, I wanted to get some cool XRP stuff. I invested, you know, in XRP, and then I'm like, I just didn't like anything that was out there, so I just started designing some things. And I looked up, there's a couple manufacturers for clothing near me, but that are companies owned and run by expats. Oh,
that's very cool.
You know, yeah, it's a lot easier to get, you know, go through the process. And so I just I have rough sketches, and then I want to always have some kind of meaning behind the graphics. And these are the sublimated graphics that you can print on the whole cloth, you know, not just like a square, silk screen. Yeah. Like my other store stuff is like that. But I wanted to do something like this that was just real loud and caught people's attention, to get people to, you know, say, hey, what's that XRP thing on your shirt, you know, when you wear it. And some people have said that's happened. And then on the back, I try and put a narrative and some graphics. You know, this one has the IMF, BIS. This is the 2018 one. And central bank, nice. IMF, BIS, ESDR, global liquidity. And, you know, this one has some other thing. This is the latest one. This is the one that's out now. So I wanted to make them limited edition. So I started with the one over here, and I just ordered a certain amount. And when they were sold out, I just retired the design and went on to the next design. And then I have other custom designs in the web stores. You know, those are ongoing, you know, but my jerseys are a separate project that, it just takes a while. I keep going over and adding more stuff. They have like what we call ghosted graphics in the background that you really can't see until you get really close, or you put a lot of light on them.
Subliminal messaging. Be careful.
You know, yeah, there you go.
Exactly. I was actually super interested in that pink one that's not pink.
Yeah.
But it sold out of my size in like 2 days, and I was like, all right, forget it. I guess I can't get that one.
We can do something similar in the stores. Luckily, the web stores, one of them has some new custom software, and so I'm able to, you know, design stuff kind of on the fly for people. Versus these, I have to order in quantity. I can't do like one-offs and stuff. So
gotcha.
So I just try and do something different, something loud, something to get the XRP Ripple message out there, but also kind of where I see XRP going forward, especially these two jerseys, got a lot more graphics on the back about, you know, where I see things going, gold, the ESDR, central banks, IMF.
It's like the history of the DNI show. It's awesome. When did you start making them? Did you start making it in 17 or 18?
I started 2018. Yeah. 18.
So you get 2018, 19, and 20.
Right.
So that's truly the history of the development of your channel and your thought process in relation and response to what's happening. So that could be really interesting, you know, as we go forward a couple more years to see that progression.
That progression, yeah. No, you're right. I never thought of the history part of it, but yeah, that's true.
Now, here's a really important question. Do you speak Thai?
I used to speak it relatively well back in like 2003, 2004, when I needed to more. And I worked for, you know, a couple Thai companies and things. But now I stopped studying it, and I barely speak it. I forgot most of it. My wife speaks fluent English, you know, and she's Thai, but you know, she worked in engineering for 10 years, so she had to speak English. And the answer is I still can speak a little bit. I'm going to probably have to study it again because my wife keeps leaning on me to be able to communicate with her parents. And her parents, they don't speak a lot of English. So,
okay. Can you say, are you able to say, this is DNI, or I'm DNI, and this is Deep Dive, which happens to be a new show that's coming up on the chain?
I can say, you know, Palm Chew, DNI, what else did you want me to say? This is Deep Dive. Yeah, I'll probably get stuck right there.
My name is
DNI. You know, Palm Chew. Yeah, Palm Chew DNI, which is my name's DNI.
Palm Chew. Palm Chew. I like
that.
Yeah,
Palm is. Yeah, and I'm not saying the accents perfectly, but Palm Chew, because it sounds kind of goofy when an expat says it out of context. Yeah, I forgot most of it. I used to have a vocabulary of maybe 500, 600, 700 words. You know, it's pretty good.
Man, it's hard, isn't it? You think about the languages. You know, you study languages. I've studied multiple languages. I'm fluent in 2, and I've studied. Let's see, at this point, I've studied 5 languages, and 2 of the languages that I got to conversational, they quickly erode. You know, like for instance, Arabic. Yeah, have you ever studied Arabic in your
a little bit in for work?
Okay, so that one, it's an interesting one. You know, I can still read it. I don't understand it. I can't. I remember. I don't know how I remember the letters. You know, I can read the letters. It's right to left, but I can't. I can remember just some sporadic words. It was funny. I was in the car yesterday with my son, and he watches a lot of anime in Japanese. Yeah. And he says, "Hey, did you understand this?" And we're talking about languages. He said something in Spanish first, and I was translating for him. And then he starts playing stuff in Japanese, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I know that." And I was like, "What do they say?" And he says something. It's like, how in the world did you learn Japanese? Like, he's picking up all these words from watching anime.
Wow.
So he started playing some stuff in Arabic, and I was like, "That's it, done."
Yeah. It's just and it's a tonal language too, just like Mandarin. And so, you know, there's multiple tones. So the one word pronounced 4 or 5 different ways means 4 or 5 different things. Yep. It's not like in English where, you know, a banana is just a banana, whether you say banana, it's still a banana. Not so in Thai or, you know, other tonal languages. You know, it definitely changes its meaning.
I can imagine,
So
gotta be careful.
My girlfriend is she's Indian. She speaks Malayalam. Man, that is tough. Like, every little click of the tongue was just a completely different word, and to my ear, it sounded like the exact same word. Yeah, but it was that's literally opposite meanings with just a little turn of the tongue. Crazy.
Yeah, it's difficult. It is. It's really hard that way.
Right? Does she also speak Hindi as well, or no? Or Hindi. Well, that's usually a pretty common, you know, unifier. But I mean, there's so many different languages in India, so many different dialects there. And you know, my wife speaks Spanish. That's her native language, and I understand it pretty well. But then I get caught up in you're trying to speak it. You're like just fighting for that word. It's floating around there somewhere. You can't really quite get it. But I like to watch. If you see the subtitles, it makes it so much easier, because if you hear a song, like she'll even hear a song in English, and so when the way the words blend together, she might not catch it, but all of a sudden it all makes sense. You see, you know, what the lyrics are, right? So I like watching stuff, and we've watched a bunch of you know, movies that are in Spanish, and I watch the subtitles, and then it starts flowing after a while. I start kind of getting in that groove. And it's funny, my wife, if I know she's telling a story and she's into, I start recognizing the words and stuff, but it's really the verbs and stuff, the way they're, the structure too. I get them wrong. All the tenses. I
It's the
get that wrong,
tenses that
too.
mess things up. The tenses.
Yeah, big
So
time.
yeah, that makes it really tough.
We went down to we were in Chile, in the north of Chile, and also around Santiago. And it was, so I just like to just venture out, man. I like to just jump in a car, get out there, and just do stuff. I don't care. And so this time I was really shocked. I was looking for translator apps. The one that I ended up using, believe it or not, on my iPhone was one made by Microsoft. And man, it is badass. It's like you and it has like a button on both sides that you sit there and translate. So my brother-in-law, who doesn't speak I understand more Spanish, but his Spanish is a little bit harder to, I don't know, for me to quite get. But we were going everywhere, doing everything together. We'd just jump in his truck, start driving somewhere. He's talking me around. He would bloop, 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 do his thing, and it would speak it. And we're like laughing
really
and
cool.
joking together. And we're almost at that level. I think the next evolutionary step is where if I'm wearing my iPods, Pros or something, and he's wearing something, and as we're speaking, I'm speaking it, he's translating it in his ear, and vice versa. I think we're super close to that.
That
and
would
I
be
think
cool.
that's going to open up, I think, for travel, because that's one of the things people go like, what are you going to do when it moons? That's my next question. I want to talk about a couple things you like to do when it moons, right? So you moon, like, what do you want to do? And I'm, when Lambo, when moon, when Lambo, when moon. So D3, Triple D, DINERO Dave, what would you do? Like, you get a moon, what do we have? Like a big moon, right? So we hit $1,500 XRP per. What are you doing, man? What's
Is that your prediction? Wait a minute.
No prediction.
It sounded like a price prediction, was it?
1,500 was it? Did you say?
Man, where'd
Did
you
write
even
this
come
down?
up with that? 1,500. Write that down. That's
I did say
January
that.
25th.
Did not say the year. Did not commit to a time frame, right? But I have a feeling that may happen before any
Before we die.
No, before Congress passes any regulations.
Oh, kind of the same.
There's a
kind of the
better
same
chance
thing.
of that than that's.
What are you gonna do when it
It's that
moves, man? You
pre-IPO
care about
offers.
Lambos? What are you gonna do, man?
I'm definitely gonna do some more traveling. I might stop by Detroit. Someone told me earlier today that that's a good spot to check out.
They lied, man. It is a family. The people there are awesome. I gotta
Who
tell
was
you. I
telling
love
you
it.
that?
Detroit's cool, man. I was born and
Detroit
bred
is
there.
pretty cool.
And,
Definitely travel. Definitely travel. That's my main goal.
First place on your list. Where are you going?
Probably gonna go see DNI. I've always wanted to go to Thailand again.
Thailand. That's it, man.
It's gorgeous. there.
Welcome. That'd be cool.
I went
That would be
years
cool.
years ago, but yeah, I definitely want to go there for vacation, not for business. Check that out because
We'll have a meetup here. We'll have a post-moon meetup in Thailand.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, I'm down
Nice.
for that.
It's gonna be at your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By then, hopefully, I'll have the
Moon
moon house lined up.
House.
Did you guys
Nice.
Did you guys see
We
my
s-
video about the moon house?
We did. I did.
Yeah.
I
don't know
did.
about
I
anybody else.
You see it, D? Triple D? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I went. My wife finally called, and what it was is we are on our way to the one of the temples in the neighborhood, and came across this just huge house with these 8-foot compound type walls. I'm like, and it was for sale. I'm like, this is cool, man. Let's check it out. So I did a couple videos on it, and she finally called. But what they did was somehow they have the house split up in two, and they divided the compound into two halves, and we're selling them separately. And I'm like, that's just stupid as
Deal
hell.
breaker.
Who wants to share? And one half had already been sold, so only the other half was for sale. And I'm like, I mean, I could see if both halves were available, but who would buy half of a compound and have to share everything? It just was stupid.
It's no longer a compound in that case.
I think
You
have to
lost the whole
interview people.
concept.
What is it? Yeah. So
It's a
I'm gonna have to
pretty big
find something
commitment.
else.
To sit there. I mean, you have to interview them. Like, hey, we got to talk to these people, right? Because what if they're jerks?
Well, you just kick them out. I
Curiosity.
want to buy this.
What was the U.S. dollar equivalent of this compound?
The what was it? 15 million for one half, but bought.
For a
So
half?
that's that's bought. That's
Oh.
bought. So divided by 30. So what's that? 500,000 each side.
Oh, how big is it?
How big was it?
It looked pretty
The one
big.
half that was for 15 billion or 15 million bought, the 500,000, it was 5 bedrooms, 5 bath. The whole lot was probably maybe 200 by 125 feet. Yeah, it was pretty big, and the walls were pretty, like I said, they're like 8 foot high walls. You don't want to get anything shorter than 5 feet because the snakes can kind of crawl up the side of the compound walls if they're 5 feet or shorter.
All right,
you
I'm
want
staying
something
here.
like, you know,
Not for me.
I'm on
want
snakes,
something-
man.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm out.
I had a friend of mine that lived, you know, if you live in like where there's fields and that thing has like a field right next to it, so you have to be concerned about that.
We
Don't
had
worry,
an
we got to
iguana
build these
drop.
walls 6 feet high because we got to worry about the pythons coming in and trying
Exactly.
to kill us.
That's
Oh
what
my
happened. My neighbor, a friend of mine that lived only about 15, 20 minutes away from me, but he lived in a neighborhood that didn't have a lot of houses. So there was a lot of open fields. And yeah, the chickens and the neighbors' dogs were getting eaten by the snakes. And he was worried
Jesus
about
Christ.
the dogs or his dogs. So he moved out
What
of there.
kind of
just-
dogs? And we're talking about big
I-
dogs, small dogs.
I think medium sized.
Yeah.
I don't think it was anything small.
Jeez.
Because usually the people that have like the HISO folks of not the HISO, but you know, the folks that have the small dogs are people that you would think would have small little dogs, you know, here versus everyone else, like the middle class, they have like medium sized dogs or larger.
Okay.
All we have to worry about here are alligators, and you
Yeah.
know, I'm not.
Well, we
I'm
had
not building walls.
the great drop, the iguana drop. What happens is these iguana. So when it got cold, it got down to like 39 degrees here, and I don't know what that is in Celsius, but I don't know if you know.
Still cold.
It's cold.
don't know.
It's cold,
Yeah, it's
right?
cold.
I mean, it's a few degrees above freezing. What happens here is the iguanas, which are not native to the space, but they're in the trees, and they said you got to beware because what happens, they just drop because they get so cold they drop. By my office, there's a big lake, and there were 3 of them, 3 big guys out there. I mean, they were massive. And you go over to them, and you could poke them. Their eyes are open, they're alive,
But they can't move.
but they can't move. They're just like they're like, and you're like, well, you know, it's funny if you think about the fact that one time I think I told the story, but a colleague thought it was a great idea to bring one of these to work. And he had it in his office in a box. And halfway through the day, that thing went ballistic. It started running around the office. And it was a pretty decent sized one. It was about this big, right? And all of a sudden you hear, and then boom, the thing burst out of the box, started running down the hallway. We got to go on loose in the office, you know? He brought it next. He thought it'd be cool. He thought it was
That's
like,
crazy.
you know?
It's not the type of thing you bring inside.
Yeah, right?
Bring your iguana to work day.
I mean, they drop. I mean, you're like walking, you know.
They
This
just fall out of the trees.
Jeff,
It's so
this is a
bad.
weird story. So the other, right in East Boca, some girl's walking, texting on her phone, right? And I had to go look at the actual area, right? It's kind of like, it's all trees and it's like a big open thing and there's condominiums and stuff. And apparently she was like just cutting through some bushes and by a tree branch falls off and kills her. I was like, what? Who? Has anybody ever walked in that location, let alone at that time? I'm like, that's a really weird, that's what I wonder, guys. I mean, you ever wonder about that? Like, you know, I always had this like thing, like, you know, no blood, try not to get hurt with anything. You know, you think about the weird ways you can die, you know, I just want to go like in a normal sort of way, right? There's always some weird way that can happen. But I'm like, what, a tree branch, when you're on your phone, you go boom, and it hits you. And I'm like, well, how big could the tree branch have been? It wasn't a branch. I mean, it was a massive, you know.
You think
trunk.
about some of those palm trees, though, when they shed their palm leaves or whatever,
Palm fronds,
they're
yeah.
huge. The palm fronds are big and they're heavy.
They are heavy.
You get hit one of those and they're tall. So, I mean, that's a
I have to worry
possibility.
about golf carts in my neighborhood because these people there's always bushes where I'm walking my dog, and my dog is always trying to lock, and I got to go like peek out behind the bush. I'm like this. And then where to go golf cart.
Oh, yeah, they don't care.
I might get run
Especially
over by a
after they
golf cart
picked up
one
a
of
few
these days,
drinks
yeah.
from the drink cart.
Oh yeah, they're always loaded. Every single
get
time.
out.
Man. I got 3-4 drinks. People are flying off the edges of these things, man.
Oh,
Drunk
yeah, all the
driving
time.
golf carts.
Oh my God,
People
I was golfing and the driver of the car, he kept messing around and we're going down a hill and he's at full speed at an angle and we almost flipped the cart down into the lake. I'm like, dude, what the hell? He jumped out of the cart. I'm
Yeah,
still in the cart. I couldn't jump out where I was. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Holy cow!
You know, it's
man.
too dangerous. Way too dangerous, these golf carts.
What do you have to
But
worry?
hey,
About? Where are you? So you're up in New York, D3.
Yeah, I'm slightly north of New York City, so I'm about 20 minutes from New York City.
Did you grow up there? Is that where you were?
Yeah, I lived here my whole life.
All right,
Nice.
man. Look at you. You
Nice.
So after Moon, you're gonna live there? You're gonna just kind of like live in a couple places, couple different houses?
I lived in Sarasota for 6 months.
Oh wow.
You know, couldn't stand it. I don't know how you guys deal with Florida speed, but me being on an express line, 30 minutes is not good at Walmart.
Well, let me explain this.
Drove me nuts.
Yeah.
The pace in Florida is just
The pace in
way
Florida
too
is
slow for me.
No, listen, that's where you're absolutely wrong.
That's the west coast of Florida.
That's
though.
the west coast of Florida.
Yeah,
was a
that's
bad
all the
choice.
Midwest.
I've
That's
been
the
to Miami
Midwest
too.
section.
I've been down south.
This is
It's,
New York
Miami's
South.
also different.
This is
Right.
the New York South, and all the morons and idiots and the drivers who I'd like to throat punch are from New York. Okay, and I can
That's
say
right.
that 'cause I grew up in New York.
Everything north of Miami is all New York. Yeah, New York
New
South.
York.
Everything Miami is Latin America, slow pace, kind of hectic. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Okay.
you know, so I
I
mean,
gotta
yeah,
check out what you
Sarasota's
guys are.
it's not all like that, and people think like it's all just old people, you know, and yeah, I mean, there's tons of families, man. There's so many kids in my block over here. I mean, running around, you know, getting into trouble, mostly on their phones, not communicating with each other. But you know, that's what they do. These kids, that's what the kids are into these days. So, what was I going to say? So yeah, we're coming up on the 20 mark here.
Yeah, we got.
Did you guys want me to talk about this app
Yeah,
thing?
please do. Please do.
Yeah. Talk
Okay,
about
so-
that app, and then before you talk about the app, since we're just talking about custom shirts, I want to just quickly go over to D3's custom shirt, and then let's go over to the app because I don't want to forget about this cool shirt that he made.
All right. So I bought this shirt already made just like this with this XRP Moon. Got the barcodes for my ledger put on the sleeves.
Oh, cool.
And then on the back.
There we go.
Little dinero day.
D3.
There we go.
D3.
Flexing the Spanish over
Nice.
there. Dinero, baby.
Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican.
There you go. So you speak Spanish then?
I didn't speak English until I was 4 years old.
Oh, no kidding. Wow. You were born in Puerto Rico.
No, I was born in New York, but my grandmother raised me and she didn't speak a lick of English.
Gotcha. All right. Nice.
There you
Have
go.
you been to Puerto Rico?
Oh yeah, I've gone tons of
Absolutely.
times.
All the time, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice. That's
And
nice
where'd
down
you
there.
say your wife was from? Dave?
India.
India. Okay. And Chip,
My wife is from Chile.
from Chile. Mine's from Thailand. And Jeff?
From the U.S.
Oh, from the U.S.
Yeah,
right,
from Michigan.
okay.
From Michigan.
From
She
Michigan.
is?
There you go. Yeah, yep.
She's
Okay.
Detroit, no? Area
Yeah,
like that area.
Sterling Heights.
Sterling Heights, there you
Get
go.
out. That's where I grew up.
Oh, no kidding. Oh,
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Small world. Small world.
Canada,
Wait a minute.
now we're gonna find out. Yeah.
Back it up.
No stone unturned in Sterling. Anyway, so what's her name? No, I'm just kidding.
Funny, he
Where did
probably
she?
does know her. Isn't that weird?
I probably
Yeah, that
do.
would
Yeah.
be
Where?
fun.
What?
That would be funny.
Can you name some roads that she grew up by?
Let's see.
You don't have to be too specific, but just
Like DeQuinder.
DeQuinder 14, 15, 16
Yeah.
mile.
Yeah, that whole region. That's like whatever. That's that primary.
Well,
Sterling
DeQuinder's like
Heights
the
area, right?
western. DeQuinder's the western border between that and Troy.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
went to 17 in DeQuinder and grew up at 14 in Shaner.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, you're right in that
That's
same
right.
area. Yep.
Yeah.
So 14 in Shaner is like Dodge
Yeah, about
Park.
3 miles. Yeah, about 3 miles away.
And then you've got what's that? Why can't I think of the name of it?
The road.
You've got 16 Mile Road, and then
Metro Parkway.
Metro Park. Oh, it's Metro Park, right? What's the
Yeah,
park?
that's
It's
16.
the very end, right? The park at the
Metro
very
Park's
end.
the name of the park on the
Metro
beach.
Park.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go there all the time, a lot. Yeah. So,
Huh.
and she probably went to what was it, Stevenson High School? I think I'm
I couldn't even tell you. I don't know.
giving away too much there by saying that.
Well, not away. I don't
Um,
think I ever knew.
Jeff wasn't that interested in he was interested in other things. He wasn't really necessarily interested in the high
Small
school.
world.
By the way, that's
Yeah.
a good opening question, Jeff. Hey, how you doing? What high school did you go to, by the way? Just curious.
Well, that definitely comes up. You know, if you
At some point it does.
find the area you grew up in.
I don't know the
like
name
this
of the high school
conversation.
my wife went to. I mean, I have no idea.
I was just unique or interesting about where all our wives are.
So talk about this
from.
app that we've heard about, this Thai app, yeah?
Yeah, so SCB, Siam Commercial Bank in Thailand, is working with Ripple on an app, a money transfer app, and a number of people in our community have done videos on it. And so anyway, I was at, we went to some place called TuCom in where I'm at, and it's like a 5-story electronics mall. So each floor has its own theme. Like one floor is cell phone stuff, and it's just all these little small vendors, one after another, like a flea market almost, and having cell phone accessories, whatever. And then there's a computer floor. There's an area where just cameras are. There's so each floor has a theme. Anyway, they have banks there too. And I saw, and I have an account at CM Commercial Bank. And so I know Crypto Eddie was talking about this mascot. I don't know, My Manny, I think her name.
Manny.
My
Nice.
Manny.
Oh, that's really cool.
So I went inside and I'm like, I want to see if they got any brochures for this new Runs on Ripple app. And they did, or they do. So I got some. I'm going to throw some pictures on Twitter on this too. But you know, all the different like options I guess you can do. None of it's in English, so I didn't have my wife translate it for me yet. But because we just got back. But I thought it was cool. They got, you know, at least a brochure out for it and all the different things about the app itself. I'm assuming these are all the different features and things that you can do. And it's on the website too, the SCB website, the bank's website. And you can get it in the Google Play or the Apple Store, you know, and she's on the back. And I think I didn't see the little like figurine in the bank, but I'm going to keep an eye out for it because these banks are everywhere. So I'm going to try and get one. If I get one, I'll maybe do a giveaway on the show.
There you go.
And something else that's coming up that was interesting. I've been getting contacted by a few people to do some sponsoring of my show. And one of them, and I accepted this one, is they're a board game company that came out with like a central banker or bankers board game. It's like Monopoly, but like a banker's game, a banker's version.
Yeah, cool, man.
So they're like, well, we'll send you a version of the game and you can talk about it on your show. So I think I'm going to do like an unboxing on the show.
Why don't we do that one time? Why don't we play around and see if we can do something like that? Wouldn't it be fun just to like play that online?
Play the game online?
Well, just have one camera on the board and we'll all sit there and say, what's your move? We did do, what the hell? That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But it would last about 6 or 7 hours. Man, I'm into that.
It'd be perfect, yeah.
Like Monopoly. Let's play Monopoly 6 hours later.
We'll talk about stuff while we're playing.
That's cool. So I'm going to do an unboxing and, show it and maybe set it up or do whatever. I don't know. But they sent me the tracking number and everything. So I guess it's on its way.
That's awesome, man.
That's awesome.
You know who wants to sponsor our show? I can't explain it to you, but it's weird stuff, man. I don't know why. I think it's because I think Jeff's pulling all that weird stuff from the universe. I don't know. It's just
something to do with chains.
People reach out about weird stuff like that. I think that's what it is. On the chain. You guys talk about chains, don't you?
We do, yeah.
So
we do, yeah.
Maybe
let's wrap this up enough. I know we're getting there.
We got to wrap it up. I got to go.
Jeff has a very important, manicure appointment he has to get to.
That's after tennis.
I have to get a haircut. Gotta get a haircut. Make sure it doesn't get too long.
Which one?
But this was awesome. I'm really glad that you guys joined us on
thank you
on the chat today, on the roundtable before, on the after show. It was awesome. We want to get some feedback from D3 on the meetup on the 28th over in New York City. There'll be a link in the description on this Coil feed for that and his YouTube channel and all sorts of great things. DNI will put some links below to your web store on those custom shirts and everything else. Another plug, check out, there'll be a new show coming up on the chain with DNI called Deep Dive. With that, Chip, take us out of here.
Yeah, I just want to do one little shout out. I want to do a personal plug. You guys want to check out some interesting blogs. I've been blogging over there on that Coil platform. This is where this is the same. We're watching this right now. Anyway, so if you go to Mind Toss, like toss your mind, MINDTOSS, mindtoss.com. That's how you get to my Coil blog over there. And I'm writing about really interesting things like, don't get mad, send them poop, stuff like that. Little fun things you can chat about and do things with. But I want you to go to, keep watching on the after show here, and please go if you will, subscribe to D3, right? We're trying to blow him up a little bit, trying to get him some followers. But yeah, go over there and subscribe to him, man. He's putting out some solid content. How do I know it? Because he's a badass. Look at that beard. He's got custom clothes. Who doesn't love shit like that? Right? Okay.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have both of you guys here. Man, we could go on all day. And DNI, that's not an entry point. Just saying. Let's go, guys. Out.
See you guys. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.